Hey, what's going on, folks? Yeah, you can hear Tippy in the background probably. But I was gonna my hair just totally disappeared. Yeah, I hear you, little girl. Yeah, but okay, well, come here. I know you're interrupting my video, but everybody wants to say hi. You want to say hi? Tippy says hi. Say hello. I'm Tippy. I'm Tippy. I need a haircut. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Here's a good old Tippy. Yes. And she's not the only one here. Yeah, I got two other dogs right here too. You can't see them because they're laying at my feet. But yeah, there's little Tippy. One of you, Bella, will come sit in the chair next to me here in a minute. We'll see. Oh, there you go, little Tippy. Yeah, so okay, I got you. We'll go play in a minute. It's raining. You can go play when it stops. Okay, yeah. So this is an update because I have multiple people that keep asking me, and instead of me posting on Facebook and stuff, I figured I'd just make another video and kind of re-summarize all my past videos and everything about my teeth journey and all that kind of stuff. And I know it's a little convoluted, but life's convoluted, isn't it? So basically, what happened with me was I lost a lot of weight after 2020. I lost 150 pounds, but I wasn't getting all the vitamins and nutrients I should have been getting, and bad teeth run in my family too. But I wasn't getting the nutrients and all that kind of stuff, and my teeth were already not in the best of shape, and they started basically crumbling and breaking, and I was spending a ton of money on root canals and buildups and crowns and then teeth removal because the crown didn't work. And every time I was doing it, it was like 1,500 per tooth, and it was just a money pit, and I was in pain constantly. And I went to some places here in the U.S. Nobody would give me an actual price, so I can even think about what kind of price I was looking at. They always wanted to give you the used car salesman, like, oh no, we gotta really look at your stuff and figure it all out, blah blah blah. We can't even give you a ballpark. Well, everybody else could give me a ballpark price of like, yeah, this is a normal fee. It can range from this amount to this amount, or if this is what you're looking at, no place in the United States they couldn't even give me a range. They're like, I'm like, well, you have to know what the cheapest starts off as. You can tell me what that at least is. Oh no, we can't do that. This is a case by case basis. So, anyways, places in the United States really kind of rubbed me the wrong way because they wouldn't even answer my questions, and they would get kind of snooty about it or whatever. So basically, yeah, it's been right at like a year now. Yeah, just yes, right at a year since I had my teeth taken out. So, like I said, so what I would have done if I'd have had the money straight up and versus what I did do is different things. But considering at the time I didn't really have the money, and what happened was, anyways, yeah, I rattled and all that kind of stuff, and you've probably turned it out a long time ago. But if you want the information, you're going to stick around. So here it is. So back basically about a year ago, in into June, I got laid off from my job, and I'd been there for 12 years, and I had over 250 hours of vacation time built up that I hadn't taken because I didn't hardly ever take vacation or anything. So after 12 years, at the beginning of July of last year, I found myself unemployed and a lot of teeth pain. And I'd already been looking into getting my teeth removed beforehand. But anyways, I was unemployed. I was in a lot of pain. I was looking for work, and I stumbled across this program that was based out of San Diego that was free dental implants. They basically ran a free dental implant school out of San Diego where they would teach people how to remove teeth and put the implants in. And it was all free. The only thing it cost was the flight out there, my stay, and the dentures I ended up having. And it cost me more because I had to fly out there. Now, they said I could have the dentures made by somebody close by if I wanted to, but trying to get somebody to be like, oh, you're all going to want us to make the dentures, they were being worried about it. So I just had people out in San Diego make the dentures. So basically, I mean, it still cost me around $7,000-8,000. Don't get me wrong. So, yes, they took out all my teeth, and then they put 4 implants, which are basically little screws that go into your jaw. So they put 4 in the bottom, and they put 4 in the top, and they took all my teeth out. And before they did that, they took an impression of my current teeth and jaw and everything. And so, I flew out to San Diego, and I stayed there for about a couple of days, and then flew back home. And while I was there, like I said, the first day, the Wednesday, they took out all my top ones, and then they put in the top anchors. So no teeth, just the anchors. And then the next day, they took out all the bottoms and put in the 4 implant anchors in the bottom. And then, after that, I rested for a little bit, and then I came home, and I'm like, well, I don't have to work. So recovery was pretty easy. I mean, and it really wasn't that bad. It just was awful sore. And of course, now you don't have teeth, and all you're doing it's, sipping on soup or mashed potatoes or whatever, because that's all you can get because you don't have any teeth. So anyways, about 2 weeks later, I flew back out to San Diego, and the return trip was basically out there, pick up the dentures, then fly back. It wasn't that much, but it was still, cost me to fly out there, cost me to fly back. And then, the dentures were, like $2,500 or something. And so for the next 6 months, I had to wear those, they're just like regular dentures. You put the glue in the top and the glue in the bottom, and you stick them in, and you stick them in the bottom, and you gotta get the glue in, and now they stick in, and then you gotta hold it with your tongue until the glue all dried, and then once it was wet. But my bottoms never felt exactly right, and I never could get them to feel right. And about 5 months out, I went to a local dentist and had them look at them, and they relined them, and that didn't help. Just even with the relining, I had a sore spot down here that just kept rubbing, and they didn't know what they're like, well, we relined it and didn't do anything. So I never wore the bottoms, and it was always hurt. Like I said, and the glue was annoying, but it was what it was. I was on my way to trying to get myself to a better place. And during the time I was healing, like I said, because what I was explained to and all the things I've read, and I know other people claim they can do it differently, but I'm better safe than sorry, even if it takes a longer time to do that. But it takes about 6 months for the implants to solidify in your jaw, basically. So it takes about 6 months before you could go from that to having permanents put in. Well, at that point, I was working again, and I was ready to go get some permanents. And at this point, I could have gone back out to the people I'd originally saw, or gone to somebody locally, which, like I said, they never would give me a price. It was way out of my budget, whatever, just because they wouldn't tell me, So I did some looking around and found some really good ones. Well, the one I ended up going with is named Prime Dentistry in Cancun, and they were excellent. They every time I've been down there, it's been excellent. They've been nice, and I thought I was going to go down there once, but I ended up going down there 3 times. But that's not anything on them. It's me and my body and all that kind of stuff. So basically, I went down in February, and and got my next set. They were supposed to be the permanents, but the problem was because I spent so many years with bad teeth and then no teeth and all that, the way I was biting was crooked. I had what they called a crossbite, where my teeth and that, I don't know if exactly right, so they put these as temporaries in, and well, actually not these. These are the second set. I broke the first set. So the first set they put in, and I was, and they suggested putting 2 more implants in the back. And I was like, nah, I'll just stick with the 4, and I should have listened then, but I didn't. I stuck with the 4, and it was fine. But then I got home, and after like 2 weeks, I was in a traffic accident and got T-boned. And right around that time too, I ended up breaking the denture I had right here. I don't know if it had to do with partly because of the car wreck or whatever was going on, but from that car wreck, they ended up holding my car, but they gave me a little extra money. And I said, you know what? I'll better safe than sorry. I had them put 2 more implants in. So now I've got 6 implants on the bottom, 4 on the top because there's no more room. I was lucky I didn't have any bone loss. Oh, but the first time I went down to Prime, within 5 minutes of being there, that pain I was telling you about down here, I saw I couldn't never wear the lower dentures, and the people here in Georgia couldn't find, and I had I can't remember the correct terminology for it, but it was a bone shrapnel. Basically, a bone shrapnel from when they removed all the teeth was stuck under the gum, and they found it in like 5 minutes. They're like, oh, yeah, we see it right here. And popped it right out, and that pain I've been dealing with for months, gone. And the pain I'd had from all the old teeth when they got removed, gone. So, I mean, if you're worried about having no teeth, but you're dealing with dental pain every day, get them taken care of. I know it sucks to not have teeth, but you get them taken care of, get them removed. No more infections, no more pain, and then you move on and do what you gotta do. But being in no pain is really a big reliever, because I was getting very grumpy. I probably unfriended folks I probably didn't need to unfriend because I was just in such a mood, and but those friends never came back around anyway, so they really weren't friends, because most of my friends know he's going through something, so. You get in little arguments, you forgive each other, you move on. The other folks, oh well, y'all, that's not been real friends anyways, because, anyway, that's something else. I can't remember where I was going with that, but anyways, they found that, got it out. So now I've got 6 on the bottom, 4 on the top, and then the ones they gave me, unlike the other ones, which were glue in, glue out, these are actually screwed in, so they don't come out. I choose the shade that was still very close to bone. I didn't want it to look too white and not match and not look natural. And I think these look pretty natural. And I found myself smiling more for photos. I actually feel a little fake, because whenever I smile, I'm kind of like, I'm not used to having teeth. I'm used to, but now it's. What's going on? Smiling now. Yeah, so anyway, so the second time I went down was I had them add 2 more implants, and then I had to let those heal. So that's why I'm not going back until end of September. But these have done great. I wish I'd have done the 2 implants before, and if I hadn't been laid off, and if I'd had the money to do it all from the get-go, I'd have gone to Prime and had it all done there. I'd had the teeth removal and then came back for the permanents, because they would have probably put in the 6 to begin with. But, you have to do what you got to do. So, I started off in one place and ended up at the best place, so, I'm excited for the next set and everything, but that's pretty much what I had to do. So if you're thinking about it, I'm like, yeah, a lot of places say teeth in the day, but, I don't know how well those do. Like, I can only say from my own experiences, but the place in Cancun and Prime, they did me good, and they've done really good work and all that. And, honestly, most of it's gone okay, so, but that's pretty much what you're in for. You're in for First, you got to get used to no teeth, and then you got to wear some dentures and get used to that, and actually eat properly and all that kind of stuff. And then once all that's healed up, you go in and you get your other sets that's bolted on, and yeah, they're more expensive down there, but they're more expensive here. What am I saying? They're like half the price if you go to Mexico than they are here, and they do really good work, and they get you in and out, and you got to dedicate, like each time I go down there, it's like 2 weeks. Oh no, 2 weeks in Cancun. What am I going to do? Oh man, sit in a hotel room for 2 weeks, sitting on the beach and eating really good food and having pina coladas. I know that's horrible, right? So, but anyways, if you're on the fence or you're thinking about it, just do your research and check into it, and just know, I don't know if money's going to be there when I retire or not, but I'm 53. I don't know how many years I got left. I'm hoping a lot, but you never know. But I didn't want to be what time I got left to be miserable. So I'm getting my smile and trying to stay in as good a shape as I can, and just letting other people know, even though it's kind of embarrassing for me to be like, hey, I don't have any teeth. I got all fake teeth now, but they work better. I'm not in pain, and that's the main thing. And I think that's what most people want, is not to live with pain every day, and that's what I'm trying to deal with, is not be in pain. And so far so good. I've got other things going on, but it is what it is. But so anyways, I know this went a little longer than I meant to, but I just started rattling my voice box, as my dad says. So, but and also my speech has gotten a lot better. I'm still relearning how to speak, because it's something you're going to have to relearn. So, but I think it's worth it. So, anyways, that's all my thoughts for now. Take it easy.